just wait your good faith decision on.
Just for point of clarification,
Yes.
obviously we were not privy of of this transaction at the time that it occurred, about over 5 years ago.
Yes.
Since you're here, if you could edify us about the fact that you entered into this contractual agreement, and yet at that point you did not get a deed, and I'm wondering also, did you conduct a title search to ascertain whether or not there was clear title for that particular piece of property?
Well, what we did was there was a piece of land on the side of the church that we are intending to build additional an educational building with classrooms and so forth. And there were two parcels of land there, and there was a parcel of land on the corner that abuts the parking lot. So we approached the mayor and council at the time and said we were interested in the land, and we know that on the tax map that the South Palm River Borough owned the land, and we were interested in buying it. So the conversation came, the mayor and council decided that since there was a buildable lot on the side of the church, 100 by 100, there were 2 buildable lots. We had to bid for that one, and the corner lot was not a buildable lot, and we could, the township had the right to sell that piece of land to us. So we said, okay, that's no problem. We bought $100,000 check, $45,000 check, and felt that, okay, we would close on that land. We had a lawyer close on the $100,000, but we would get a deed ourselves for the $45,000. But we thought that you knew we bought the land, we paid for the land, so now the deed was just a piece of paper. It said that we got just transferred ownership, never thinking that that they didn't, may not have owned the land in the first place. I never thought about that. That the council, towns would sell land that they don't own. So
well,
that was just naivety, I guess.
If I can comment, I think perhaps only Councilwoman Kearney and myself were seated on the governing body at that time. I don't believe anybody else was here. But I can tell you that just as you stated in your letter that you bid on the property, and if I recall, it was actually a bid. It was not just a direct sale, it was a bid. But only 2 property owners, only 2 adjoining property owners were able to bid on it because it was a non-conforming lot. Could not be sold to the open public bidding. But nonetheless, this was the only bid you bought. You mentioned in your letter that you bid in and paid for it in good faith. We offered it for sale in good faith as well.
We understand.
And I understand that you're not saying otherwise.
Yeah.
Just to put that out.
Yeah.
One thing I might comment on in the letter, and certainly if I speak out of line,
no, you're fine.
By all means, let
For
me
the
know.
moment, you're fine.
You've mentioned that we cannot render clear title. That is not completely factual. The title search that we started turned up that it could not determine where ownership of the property changed to the borough. Perhaps if is a possible word, but it is entirely possible. That's why I believe the mayor's comment about a title search is pertinent, because a title search, a full title search, may just turn up that the borough's property is the owner of the property, subject to your sale in 2006.
Yeah,
and so the mayor's comment that a title search could perhaps have resolved the whole thing, as in any purchase of property involves a title search by the buyer.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just standard practice, and I understand that this was part of a larger deal, perhaps. Not a deal, bad choice of words. Part of a larger sale.
I just want to be clear for the record. When I raised the question, I am not making any assertion as to whether we own or we do not own the land. This is just from a practical real estate transaction standpoint. As an attorney, I do do real estate transactions as well. And then the natural course of action is to automatically, whether you're dealing with a municipality or church or whatnot, the natural course of action for any attorney representing a client is to do a title search, just to cover the bases. So that's why I raised the question. I'm not saying that to make any insinuation as to whether we own or do not own, because title search still needs to be done in order to establish, that fact either way. So, yeah.
Oh, so the borough clerk is making a comment about the minutes from back then, although I don't personally recall them from 5 years ago. There's, being over 50 and all. 5 years ago sometimes. Anyway, the comment was perhaps made that a title search should be done then by our attorney at the time.
Was to notify you that this was 2006, that he was to notify you to do a title search.
Is this McGuffin?
Yes.
We're on the phone.
Yes.
Is it the front?
Were you notified to do one then?
No, we
Because
haven't.
we have it in the minutes.
We didn't receive anything in writing.
Seems like we have a comment from Mrs.
So my name is Jacqueline Wilson Stokes, my member of Second Baptist Church.
Yes, ma'am.
Isn't it my understanding that the title church is the responsibility of the seller? That's
That is-
buyer.
I
No.
believe that's incorrect.
Absolutely not. In New Jersey, it's the buyer's responsibility to determine whether the seller can transfer clear title to the buyer.
So there's no responsibility at all to the seller that they have clear title before they offer the property up for sale.
Now, the seller can offer a piece of property. It depends on what is, in a normal transaction, what's involved in the contract. If the contract indicates that it's a bargain sale deed with covenants against grantors' acts, or if it is just a quitclaim deed. The normal contract will define it, but it is the buyer's responsibility to determine whether the property is owned free and clear by the seller, determine whether there are mortgages, liens against it, and bring those to the seller's attention to satisfy them. Some other states, I think Florida, maybe other states, may look to a seller to come forward with title and have a closing at a title company. Not New Jersey. New Jersey, the onus is on the purchaser of the property to determine whether there is clear title.
But we just wanted to just present as you do your deliberation.
Right. Well, we absolutely appreciate your input.
Just consider, I'm sorry.
I just have one question.
Yes.
Which came first, the $100,000 property or the $46,000 property?
Both at the same time. Yeah.
You purchased them both at the same time?
Yes.
And you got the deed
They were offered in separate
In the same
advertisements.
sale,
but
same tax
At the
bill.
same time,
Differences.
if we,
They were actually differences.
Right.
I know, but the same day.
yeah, they were, I think the same day was when we had to submit them.
And you got your deed for the other property?
Yeah.
And then you are represented by the same attorney for both properties?
Yes. Because we just closed on the one, well, not just, we closed on the $100,000. And we were represented by that attorney with all the work that needs to be done. Yeah.
Based on your recollection, do you know whether or not there was any title search made for the $100,000 property? Is there?
Yes, but I can check our record, but I think I recall the title search. But we just wanted to, just to hear us out, we
Yes.
can work this out.
Yes, we can. Actually, I'm sure I speak for the governing body that it's not our intention to take advantage of anyone, It certainly wasn't intentional if in fact we don't have title to it. And again, that isn't necessarily determined by the partial title search that's been done.
Right. But I knew that when we were looking to close and it came up, we kind of like stopped. And here we are. Yeah. Okay, great, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Justin.